Support for the Leadoff on WGLT and WGLT.org comes from the Central Illinois Regional Airport, where Florida beaches are one flight away. Featuring nonstop service on Allegiant Airlines to Tampa, St. Pete, and Orlando Sanford from Bloomington. Close, convenient, CIRA. More at CIRA.com.
Bloomington's water system overhaul leads to a groundbreaking for a new water tower on the city's south side. That's one of the things you need to know to start your day for Thursday, June 27th. I'm Ryan Denham, and this is WGLT's The Leadoff. Now let's lead off with that new water tower in South Bloomington, which officially broke ground in a ceremony yesterday. WGLT student reporter Lauren Leisure has more.
The South Bloomington Tower is part of a $400 million project overhauling water infrastructure. Water Director Ed Andrews says that having overhead storage can provide up to 24 hours of water in case of an emergency.
Our ability to offline that storage or elevate that storage in the air gives us that extra level of protection for this part of the city.
Bloomington City Manager Jeff Jurgens says the water tower is just the start.
Our City Council has placed a significant focus on infrastructure, and this is a significant milestone related to our city's water infrastructure.
Mayor Mboka Mulambwe has characterized the project as the Beyonce of water towers.
So this tower is more than just a big tank. It's a commitment to ensuring that Bloomington has a reliable water source supply for years to come.
Mulambwe praised Bloomington's water team, which he says doesn't get enough credit.
A lot of the stuff that people do in water oftentimes, goes unnoticed. People are just doing the work. And people notice it when something is not right.
Increased traffic can be expected around the construction site on Hamilton Road. The tower is expected to be completed by the end of 2025. For The Leadoff, I'm Lauren Leisure.
Here's some other stories we're following in the WGLT newsroom. Governor J.B. Pritzker signed into law a business development package, which includes $500 million to go toward a quantum computing campus with a cryogenic facility needed to keep those computing systems cool. A U.S. Supreme Court ruling narrowing a federal bribery law could have a major impact on some high-profile Chicago corruption cases, including against former House Speaker Michael Madigan. He's scheduled to stand trial in October. And 35-year-old Michelle Blessant from Bloomington has been sentenced to 87 years in prison after pleading guilty to charges stemming from 2 child sexual assault cases. You can find more on these stories at WGLT.org. The electric automaker Rivian and Volkswagen have announced a joint venture that will bring Rivian $5 billion. WGLT's Charlie Schlenker has more on how the two companies will share electric vehicle architecture and software.
Rivian CEO RJ Scaringe said in an investor conference call that the partnership will help Volkswagen speed up plans to develop electric vehicles using Rivian's technology.
The partnership is intended to focus on software and related electrical architecture design and development, with Volkswagen Group planning to utilize Rivian's own electrical architecture and software stack beginning in the second half of the decade.
Wasim Ben Said is Rivian's Senior Vice President of Software Development. He says Rivian's software flexibility was attractive to Volkswagen.
We own the software stack and control nearly all computers in the vehicle, which allows us to iterate quickly and deliver an outstanding customer experience.
That means Rivian is nimble in updating software and including new features even in existing vehicles without a trip to a service center. Ben Said says the proposed partnership with Volkswagen Group shows there could be other business opportunities in the future as the auto industry moves to smarter, more connected vehicle designs.
We strongly believe our technology is best positioned to deliver a modular and scalable platform that will help create highly compelling products and services that we expect will accelerate consumers' shift to electrification.
Rivian software and computers could be running on new VWs in the second half of the decade. Ben Said says it's a good fit and gives Rivian access to a new part of the auto market.
We believe partnering with Volkswagen Group is highly complementary. The partnership is expected to benefit from Rivian's technology stack and Volkswagen's Group global scale.
For the present, the deal gives Rivian an immediate billion-dollar financial shot in the arm. Here's Chief Financial Officer Claire McDonough.
We will receive the proceeds from the convertible note this week, and expect the closing of the joint venture to occur in the fourth quarter of 2024.
At the end of March, Rivian reported it had less than $8 billion in cash, cash equivalents, and short-term investments. It is cutting costs by improving efficiency by 30% at the plant in Normal and by pausing a planned manufacturing plant in Georgia. In the first quarter, Rivian reported a loss of $1.45 billion. McDonough says the agreement answers some questions about how Rivian will make good on its plans for a second plant and additions to the plant in Normal.
The initial and planned investments by Volkswagen Group, together with our balance sheet cash equivalents, and short-term investments, are expected to provide the capital to fund Rivian's operations through the ramp of R2 in Normal, as well as the midsize platform in Georgia.
McDonough says it's not just the $5 billion of capital proceeds to Rivian.
We anticipate incremental benefits through material cost savings, operating expense efficiencies, and future revenue opportunities associated with the joint venture.
The company claims Rivian's cost per vehicle will go down as a result of the deal, and the joint venture will speed up innovation. It's a complicated and staged agreement that requires regulatory approval. That first $1 billion in cash gives VW the option to convert the value to Rivian stock. 2 other $1 billion payments will come later, and Volkswagen will invest the final $2 billion in the joint venture.
The $1 billion planned equity investment in 2025 will be subject to Rivian achieving certain financial milestones, and the $1 billion planned equity investment in 2026 will be subject to a technological milestone.
Rivian stock got a nice bump up once the news came out. This is not the first time a traditional automaker has taken a stake in Rivian. Ford bought into the company and had an agreement to develop future vehicles, but after a few years, Ford changed course and last year sold most of its Rivian stock. Such agreements between startups and traditional automakers aren't always a good fit. Corporations have different cultures. Rivian CEO R.J. Scaringe says the cultural questions were answered for both companies over the many months it took for the deal to come together. They've had a good experience working together, he says. That said, Scaringe says the deal does have limits on what the two companies will share. I'm Charlie Schlenker.
And before we let you go, the Special Commission for Safe Communities meets today at 1 at the Government Center. On the agenda is discussion about FOID cards and the recent Supreme Court decision on domestic violence and gun ownership. That's it for today. I'm Ryan Denham. The show is produced by Lou Warner. You can subscribe to the Leadoff on the NPR app or wherever you get your podcasts.